You are welcome to the Wealthy Continent channel, a channel dedicated to the great people and continent of Africa. Remember, it is not the place that defines the status of the people. Rather, it is the people that defines the status of the place. As we continue our journey of financial literacy, we're going to be looking at the topic, mortgage exit strategies for Africans abroad. You know, when people move into their property, they are excited. They're happy, which is great news. Some people will do housewarming. Some people will do, a house tour and show people we've just moved into our property. We just bought a new property and people are happy, excited, which is a good move. A move that needs to be encouraged in our community. One of the things that we need to do with that move is not just settle down to say, I have bought a property. Because when you say that, if you go into the shops and you buy something, it means that you have paid for that item. And when you have a mentality that I bought a house, it means that you paid 100% for that property. But in actual fact, you didn't, because you went through a mortgage. It means that the bank has a say in that property. In fact, a bank has a lion's share, of that property. So we have to think about exit strategies when we are going into getting a mortgage, having a property. I know it is the single largest transaction that we would do concerning, getting an asset. At the same time, we have to think about how do we pay for this thing? Within what period? And we have to do it early. Exit strategies means we are not staying the full time. Some people have mortgages of 30 years, of 25 years, of 15 years. It depends on what your agreement is. How do we come out of that early? That is what we want to talk about in this video. That is what we want to share. Now, if you get the contract, which most people just put somewhere because, you have the property now, you just put the contract somewhere. People don't look at the contract. The first thing you need to do is get your contract. What did you agree to? That contract will have things that you need to pay attention to. The number one thing the contract will tell you is how much you've borrowed, for how long, at what interest rate, and when will the last payment be made. So it will tell you all this information. You have to understand something. When you get a mortgage, the first 10 years and above, whatever it is that you are paying is not going towards the principal. A bit might be going towards the principal. The majority of it will be going towards interest, and we have to understand this. So some people will look at, their mortgage statement and say, wow, a lot hasn't happened. It's because the bank will first take the interest. The interest is what the bank is after. The principal will not change, so they will get the interest. Another question you need to ask yourself is this: if you are going to pay this early, how much do you need to put aside to make sure that you are making additional payment? Now, you have to still check this contract. What does the contract allow you to do? Some contracts will allow you 10%. You can only pay 10% additional to whatever it is that you are paying annually. You can't pay more than that. If you try and pay more than that, you will be penalized. You have to understand that. The funny thing about the mortgage is, even when you have the money, if you look at the clauses within the contract, you will still be penalized for payment that you have made early, because the bank is not expecting you to make sudden payment and finish paying. So look at the contract. What does it say? Some people, it will tell you how much, you'll be charged if you go over what you're expected to pay. It will state it clearly. So how do we go beyond this level to make sure that we make early payment? You have to understand something, that the principal will not change, but the interest can be affected. So what you want to do is, how much can you set aside to be going against the principal? Once you hit the principal, it's a ripple effect. It's a domino effect. Once you start reducing the principal, you start reducing the interest. Once you start reducing the principal, you start reducing the time that it's going to take you to finish making the payment. Now, the bank will not tell you you need to make extra payment to finish this early. Your mortgage broker may not tell you, but you have to make that decision that I'm not going to stay full time. The early I finish making payment on this mortgage, the better. You have to make that call. So you have to have additional money that you are paying towards the interest. And by so doing, you are knocking down a lot of years. You are knocking down a lot of interest. And at the same time, you are going to finish early. Why do you do this? Now, if you do this, you get the full ownership with time. The house will be yours 100%. The bank will have no say. Nobody will have a say because you finish paying. Secondly, if you look at how much you are paying concerning the mortgage, if you free up that money, you will have a lot of money to put elsewhere, to invest elsewhere. If you understand compound interest, if you understand how it works, the bank uses this when you get a mortgage. Can you imagine reducing your mortgage by 15 years? Can you imagine reducing your mortgage by 12 years? And start putting that money in your own investment for 12 years. Not only will you be financially buoyant, you'll be in a better position. But for those who don't have a plan to follow, some people just stay the full course. And when you look at how much you have paid in interest, how much years you have spent, making this is a long time. We can shorten this by being proactive. Let us know what exactly we signed. What are the penalties? Some people can say, okay, they are not allowing me to pay more than 10%. I have to wait for a window to be open when the fixed time or the window that allows me to pay extra is over. Start putting money aside. When that window opens, throw a lump sum against your principal. It will reduce the years. It will reduce the principal. This is how we can exit early. This is how we can make progress. But if we are not proactive, if we are just paying exactly what the bank say we should pay, not only are we going to pay a lot of money, it's going to take us longer time to finish. Think about reducing the time by half. Think about reducing the time by 10 years because you are proactive. Don't wait for the bank. Don't wait for the mortgage broker. It is the property that you have signed for. Let us be proactive. That money, you can make it to start going into your pocket. That money, the interest that you are paying, can start going into your investment. You need to think about it. Remember, the earlier we start making this payment, the better for us. It's not only going to save us time, it's going to save us money. It will save us a lot of interest. Can you imagine putting those money into your investment? There is no way you won't be financially buoyant. There is no way you won't do well. But we need to follow a plan. We need to be deliberate about this. We can reduce 10 years. We can reduce 12 years. We can reduce 5 years. Whatever it is that you can do, it puts you in a better position. At the end of the day, the property becomes yours. You can do anything that you want with the property. Now, apart from paying off your mortgage early, your decisions will be different because you don't have the bank after you. You don't have to think about, I've made a decision in the past and I'm paying for it in the present. That will all go. You have a lot of money to now invest and keep on investing. And when you do this, you'll be financially buoyant. Let us take steps. Let us make a difference. Let us have exit strategies. Don't let just sit down and say, I have a mortgage. Let us do something about it. Let us change our financial story. And I believe that you can. If you have been getting value from our videos, we would like you to consider subscribing to this channel, clicking on that like button and sharing with others. Remember, a candle does not lose its value by giving light to others. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time.